Call the guys at Bueller?
That's right, Lewis! The highly trained technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing have the tools and the experience to service any make and model of home air conditioner to make sure that you are cool!
You sure I can't just have a quick...
Yeah, we're done for today.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Meet Zara talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
I came to injury care centers because I'm an old football player and some of my old injuries were beginning to catch up with me. I couldn't do what I used to do without having severe pain. I felt the improvements from the biotargeting almost immediately. Very few places would guarantee their work because, doctors, they say they're practicing medicine, so you're essentially just an experiment. The folks at injury care centers offering a 100% money-back guarantee lets you know that they take your well-being very seriously.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Rodehaver's Boys Ranch. It's a working ranch home for 50 otherwise homeless boys. These are boys who, for whatever reason, just have no place else to go. In a stable, loving, disciplined environment, each boy has a job.
Rodeheaver Boys Ranch is a faith-based foster care facility that relies entirely on your generous donations. Please consider donating a vehicle in any condition, property, cash gift, and remember the ranch in your estate planning. Visit rbr.org.
Only now you know the rest of the story.
Hey guys, we're the Twin Peaks Girls. We just love guys that listen to the Young and Norvell Show. Weekdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Show 904-362-9901. Me and Brian Middleton with you guys up until 5 p.m. unless all hell breaks loose again. I mean, if we got another tornado coming, chances are we'll go ahead and simulcast.
It's kind of happening. Not the tornado, severe weather.
Right now? Where's it at? Do you know?
I don't know. I just heard something on the other station that I had to try to go fix.
All right, we'll take a little peek. In the meantime, we do have a special guest on the phone. I saw a piece earlier on the whole Kyle Filipowski, I won't call it a scandal, maybe just call it a hubbub, a happening, but written by Nick Pedone over at Deadspin. So I reached out to Nick and I asked him to come on the show, and I'd like to welcome him in now. Nick Pedone, Deadspin, also of Big Play TV, and you can find him on Twitter at Nick Pedone12. Cleveland native, sports media professional. Nick, welcome to the Aaron Schachter Show.
Hey, guys, appreciate you having me on. Yeah, I don't know if you want to call this a scandal, a snafu, or what, but, Kyle Filipowski definitely has some people talking, and it's not for the reason that we thought going into the draft this week.
So let's start it like this. Kyle Filipowski was playing over at Duke, but this started way before he ever got to Duke, did it not?
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as we know and as far as the information that the internet sleuths have pulled for us, I mean, this is a situation that dates back many, many years. I mean, I've even seen some conspiracy theorists saying that this dates back to the point where the guy needed a babysitter, since he was that young. So, yeah, it's been going on for some time.
All right, so we are talking in a roundabout way about the fact that Kyle Filipowski has a girlfriend. This girlfriend is a little bit older than. We're not talking Bill Belichick, Jennifer Houston, or whatever her name is, Jill Hudson, whatever the girlfriend's name is, kind of age gap. We're not even talking Tom Brady and his new Brazilian model girlfriend age gap. This is a little bit of a more respectable 8-year age gap until you get to the part that you just mentioned, which is where there are rumors around the situation that place Filipowski and his girlfriend together when Filipowski was not of age to make the legal decision to consent, yet the girlfriend was. And then the story around it becomes, according to Filipowski's family, I don't know if that's even been verified because they're posting on Twitter. I haven't seen them do TV interviews or anything. But according to the people who say they are Filipowski's family on Twitter, that she has made him cut himself off from his family, no longer speaking to them, and they claim he is being groomed to be part of the Mormon religion and culture.
Yeah, that's correct. And I mean, it definitely hasn't been confirmed 100% yet, but there's pretty good evidence that is, in fact, his family. His older brother, Kyle, was really the one that kicked this thing off. I mean, there was a podcast clip from the Lowe Post where Zach Lowe was talking about why did Filipowski dive on night one? Why did he slide into the second round? And they quickly mentioned in a roundabout way on that show, well, there's this weird thing with his girlfriend who's like 6 or 7 years old from him. He doesn't talk to his family anymore. And they were just like, yeah, it's crazy. And they just moved right past it on the podcast. So somebody shared out that clip from the show, and Daniel Filipowski, who is Kyle's older brother, replied, and he's like, this story is more bizarre than people realize. Like, if people would have listened months ago, years ago, the full story would be out there. So he did put out an entire Twitter thread, X thread, whatever we want to call it now, and then his sister was DMing some people that were covering the story on Instagram. So the Filipowski family seemingly wants this out there. I did try to reach out to Daniel Filipowski, the older brother, directly. He didn't get back to me yet for an interview, but it definitely seems like there's something more going on here. And like you said, it all stems from the fact that this relationship started many, many years ago. I mean, we're talking about having her at his high school prom after she graduated college from the University of Alabama.
That's a bad look right there. Meanwhile, I think I just watched a documentary on the Yankees on Peacock that had Mel Hall doing the same thing in New York, attending the high school prom of his girlfriend while he was playing for the New York Yankees. So we've actually seen something like this in sports before. However, it was the athlete who was the older person who was dating the younger person, as opposed to this scenario, which has the older woman dating Filipowski, the athlete. Interesting to me for a couple of reasons. The first and foremost being, though, that Filipowski ultimately slides to the second round as a 7-footer. It's not something you see often. It's not like the kid doesn't have any game. And so when people are asked, analysts, even on this very network, show right before ours was discussing it, why? Why the slide? And then the answer comes back, well, it sounds like a lot of teams weren't satisfied with the information he was giving about why he no longer speaks to his family or the situation with his current girlfriend and all the rumors around them and the Mormon religion and culture. I find it hard to believe that that's the reason it slid. I mean, there are so many other players in the NBA with checkered pasts or checkered current, checkered presence. And then you get this guy, Filipowski, who maybe or maybe not has a personal issue with the girlfriend or the family. But I don't really understand how that leads to a slide so far down the draft boards on draft night.
Yeah, I mean, we know one thing for sure, and that's across sports, whether we're talking football, basketball, baseball, when these guys are in this pre-draft evaluation process, using honesty it goes a long way with these professional sport decision makers. I know it's just a movie, but think about the movie Draft Day, where Bo Callahan lied about his birthday party and he lied about studying the playbook, and he ultimately wasn't the selection in that movie. So maybe that's some of it comes into play, where the answers that he was giving in the interview section of these private workouts were very roundabout. They weren't very direct. They certainly probably didn't detail the information that we now understand today that his family's putting out there, that they haven't talked to him in 2 years. There was a goodbye email sent at one point. We don't know what the contents of that are. We do know that religion, again, alleged by his own family, is a big factor in all of this. So, yeah, I think there probably just wasn't enough information given to these teams in the interviews from Filipowski directly, where they were probably like, we don't know what's going on with this kid, so we're just going to stay away completely.
So the Utah Jazz decide enough's enough. We're going to take him, and I think they took him early in the second, if I'm not mistaken. Well, now they're sitting there with the 7-footer who, by the way, may fit actually nicely into their community, especially if he's joined the Mormon religion. As we know, Utah has a very large Mormon contingency.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely did want to include in there as well. And I kind of tossed it around back and forth, but in my story on Deadspin, I did want to include that, like, this kid is not a scrub. This kid is not your typical second-round draft pick. We talked about it earlier in this interview. A 7-footer that can stretch the floor. If you watched any of his game at Duke with the Blue Devils these last 2 seasons, I mean, he fits the part and looks the part of a modern-day NBA big. He's 7 feet tall. He could stand out there. He could shoot the three. He can rebound. He can pass. He can dribble a little bit. And most importantly, yeah, he can shoot, which is important now for 7-footers. So it definitely adds, something legitimate to this Utah Jazz roster. And we'll see, like any rookie in the NBA draft, especially any second-round pick, there's going to not be that much pressure on him right away. The Jazz aren't horrible. They have a similar player on their roster, really, in Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of interesting, maybe a little bit of a mentor, if you will. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out on the court and off the court. And I included in there, too, I'd be curious if any of the Utah Jazz media members or any maybe even national media that might descend upon Utah for this story ask some of these questions, like, hey, have you seen what your family's out there posting on social media, just to see what he'd say? Because I think this is something that definitely bears attention. I mean, remember the Josh Giddey stuff. There was a league investigation on him. Obviously, there won't be a league investigation on this kid. He's not exactly doing anything wrong, despite the fact he might be being taken advantage of. But he had to answer those questions at length all the way up until this week when he was traded. So I definitely wonder if someone asks those tough questions here in the coming days.
I got to imagine they do, right? Especially the media members who aren't in Salt Lake City, who aren't in Utah, who don't need to keep up a diplomatic relationship with one of the players to have access to the team and the rest of the players on the team. I got to imagine as Daniel Filipowski starts sifting through all the media requests and he starts to pick and choose, I got to imagine you're not the only one reaching out to him, right? I would bet that there are larger national outlets out there who are also reaching out as well. I think he's getting ready to pick and choose, or whether it's going to be a family affair, we don't know. Or maybe they make no comment whatsoever. They stay out of it. It doesn't look like they want to stay out of it. It looks like they want to sound off. Although I got to also say, if I'm the family, I really don't think the way to get Kyle back in our good graces, the way to bring Kyle back into the family circle, will be out there talking trash about his girlfriend on social media and on TV. That doesn't seem like the right way to go about doing that. If you're interested as a family member in bringing Kyle back in the fold, what do you think happens next here?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad enough and I guess blessed enough to say that I've never been through anything like this personally before. So, I mean, because I thought very similar. I was like, I wonder why they chose today. I wonder why they chose the day of the NBA draft, literally hours before he was selected. Daniel starts putting all this information out there. I wonder if that was, okay, now that he's back, now that he's in the news in a huge way, maybe this is a way for them to put themselves back onto his radar and try to reach out. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they understand that the relationship is that much tinted. I don't know. That's why I would really love to talk to Daniel, and I hope if it's not me, I hope another credible journalist is able to jump in there. I mean, this situation, even just what happened yesterday throughout the draft and his social media kind of tirade that took place just an hour before, I mean, it's documentary worthy. It really is, to find out what really happened here. And the sister today is kind of verifying some of these stories that they're longtime family friends. She's somebody that's been around the family for a long time. So it definitely is just no coincidence that these two met at Duke or they met at some, sporting event somewhere. No, I mean, the girl is definitely significantly older. They've known each other for a very long time, and there is definitely something more going on here because obviously the family can't get a hold of him. And that's kind of where we're at now. And I don't know what's next, but I hope the family finds a good outlet to share this story because it totally does seem like there's more to this entire thing.
Yeah, although, further complicated by the fact that you have religion involved here. And I think it does muddy the line between what's an accepted tradition in a religion and what people are calling grooming or abuse on a child. I guess all of that will eventually come to light. I've got to imagine, especially if he continues to play in the NBA. Nick, I appreciate you joining the show today, man. Nick Pedone from Deadspin. You can find him on Twitter at NickPedone12. You can also find his work on the Big Play Network out in Cleveland. Nick, I appreciate the call. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
That was a good job by Nick Pedone over there from Deadspin.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Brian, I see you've returned to your seat. Do you want to ask me what we said while you were gone?
Hey, man, look, I trust you.
Cool.
What did he say about
What did
he say about the player, man?
Let me go ahead and recap
the Colts?
Let me go ahead and recap the whole thing. What are you talking about, the Colts?
I got an accent, a little bit of Geechee. I meant Colt.
Who's on the Colts?
Yeah, see?
I'm confused.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah?
Okay. I didn't know. Is that am I the punchline or am I the straight man?
I don't really know. Quite frankly, I don't really know what's happening. That tells me I think it might be time for a break.
Oh.
Let's do that. Hey, scheduled to appear later this show.
Who?
Annie Lederman. She's going to be performing at the Comedy Zone all weekend.
Nice.
Tonight and tomorrow, 4 shows. Tickets available, comedyzone.com, I believe.
You get free tickets for that?
I do not.
Because I know you're running some important circles.
Am I running important service?
You just touched your circles. You just touched your nose, so.
I did. It had a little itch. I itched it. I scratched it.
Could be lying, though.
About what?
That's a tell.
Okay. I didn't know that was a tell. Now I know. I won't do it anymore.
Okay.
When we come back, some more stuff. How's that for a tease? Things are crazy today on the Aaron Schachter Show.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give MVP's Pro Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not an MVP's Pro Rewards member? Join today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
Meet Zara, talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
I came to injury care centers because I'm an old football player and some of my old injuries were beginning to catch up with me. I couldn't do what I used to do without having severe pain. I felt the improvements from the BioTargeting almost immediately. Very few places would guarantee their work because, doctors, they say they're practicing medicine, so you're essentially just an experiment. The folks at Injury Care Centers offering a 100% money-back guarantee lets you know that they take your well-being very seriously.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget Regenerative Therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Rodehaver's Boys Ranch. It's a working ranch home for 50 otherwise homeless boys. These are boys who, for whatever reason, just have no place else to go. In a stable, loving, disciplined environment, each boy has a job.
Rodehaver Boys Ranch is a faith-based foster care facility that relies entirely on your generous donations. Please consider donating a vehicle in any condition, property, cash gift, and remember the ranch in your estate planning. Visit rbr.org.
Only now you know the rest of the story.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals, dine in with beer and wine, and delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Do it with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Lester, the founder of Talon Wealth and the host of the Guarding Your Nest Egg radio show. Like you, I love this country, and I'm very thankful for those that protect us along with our freedoms. That's why for active military and active first responders, if you decide to work with us, Talon Wealth isn't going to charge you any advisor fees. We're happy to explain all the details, but most importantly, thank you for your service.
Visit guardingyournestegg.com to find out more.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Lord License D056341.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. 904-362-9901. Me and Middleton with you up until 5 p.m. Brian, I was just commenting right before we got back to the show. What a disaster it's been today.
Has it? Is it disaster because you know what's happening behind the scenes?
Yeah.
But on the radio or the streaming, they don't. Unless they looked at me not being in the chair.
I feel like the whole day's been a disaster.
You've just been anxious.
A little bit.
Because you got a big guest coming in.
Is that what it is? Am I nervous?
Feel like it.
I don't think I'm nervous.
A little bit.
I don't think I'm nervous.
Look at you sitting all, your posture straight. Your hands are, intertwined together.
Yeah, I'm excited. Can't wait.
All right, hold on.
All right, let's wait for Brian.
Can't wait.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Well, hey, in an effort to create more disaster, we've brought Chase Bunker into the studio.
What do you mean by that?
Chase just waved at the radio, guys. I'm telling you.
I'm waving at the stream right now because I thought you were going to actually give me a formal introduction. Like, hey, Chase, how are you? But instead you just go, Chase Bunker's here.
What is
you
this?
See the energy he's got?
What is it with people that come from that newsroom down here?
Here's the
I'm
thing.
sorry that I thought I was going to get at least a formal introduction, not
and
Chase
then he
is
doubles
here.
down. And then he doubles down.
I'll tell you what this is.
You tell me to cut the mic, Aaron. I'll do it.
I'll tell you what this is. This is Chase realizing that we talked about him poorly on the radio yesterday.
Well, we didn't.
We did.
No.
I
heard it. I heard.
You were there?
Yeah, I heard about it.
You called him all kinds of names.
I've been called worse.
I'm just saying he's coming in defensive. He's coming in hot because he thinks he's going to be taking hits.
Or it's like reverse psychology.
I mean, I'm a gentle giant.
He's so nice to you all the time that now he's trying to prove that he could be bad cop.
That's right. We all know your nickname around here is Gentle Aaron. We might as well call you Gentle Ben with how...
I'm a gentle giant.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Well, Chase,
Yes.
I heard you had some fun and frivolity for us
So
today.
I have something. Are you familiar with the game You Don't Know Jack?
No.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You don't know this game, Brian?
No, I've heard this.
Is this a culture thing?
So
sounds like it.
Okay.
So for those who are unfamiliar, You Don't Know Jack is a trivia game, but they don't ask questions outright. They're never going to ask you directly, who has the most points in the NBA? No, they like to fluff it up a little bit and also give you weird hypothetical situations and all that. So I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions.
Okay.
And if you get it right, you get a point. However, if you don't get it correctly, you'll lose a point. However, just because you get it wrong once doesn't mean you can't guess again. So you can just go and try to guess 4 times just to get it right.
Can we time out here? First of all, there's a whole lot of instructions in this silly radio
I'm just practicing
game.
my outcome.
Yeah, get that ready.
Yeah,
Get that ready.
Number 2, he has spent like 3.5 minutes giving instructions. We only got like 2.5 minutes
All
left
right,
to play
Literally.
the game.
All right, here we go.
Music? You want music or not?
Yeah, put music. Make it sound fancier.
All right, go ahead.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I guess.
Question number 1.
Yeah.
LMFAO was a popular music group from 2006 to 2012. Using each letter as a nickname for a professional sports team in America, which team has won the most from 2006 to 2012? The L's, the M's, the F's, the A's, or the O's?
What's the time range?
That's Aaron's question.
2006 to 2012.
6 to 12.
The L's, the M's, the F's, the A's, or the O's?
The L's, the M's, the F's, the A's, or the O's.
Brian is just like checked out completely.
Oh, no, I didn't know if this was like
either of you can answer.
Okay,
So
that wasn't in the instructions.
Can the letters stand for a city, or does it have to stand for a team
It
nickname?
is a team's nickname.
So,
As
for
in-
instance,
like the
if
C's,
the Lakers, then the L. Right. Okay.
if the Lakers are known as the L's, then
Right.
yes, like the C's for the Celtics.
L M.
Well, that's not
F,
a nickname.
They call
A.
themselves the C's.
Oh.
Yeah, Aaron, I've checked out on this first
Yeah,
question.
I got
it's
no
kinda
idea.
Tough. This is hard.
All
This is
right,
hard.
you
Hold on,
wanna
I
take
got
a
seven
guess?
things.
Yeah,
I got
just
seven
show us
things.
the answer. Let's figure it out.
All right.
Give me a hint.
So I was going to say, if you chose the L's, that's just another nickname for the Browns. There's no team with the nickname the L. The M's, also known as the Seattle Mariners, won 515 games. The F's are what Jets fans say every day. Also, no. The Oakland Athletics, also known as the A's, won 568 games between 2006 and 2012.
Okay.
More than the Seattle Mariners and more than the O's, also known as the Baltimore Orioles.
You called this a game?
Well, hold on, Chase. Go ahead, Aaron.
I was gonna say you called this a game. Like people like playing this.
Yes.
This isn't like a punishment.
This isn't a no. This might be a game for smart people. Who would have thought?
Whoops.
Hold on. Before we move on, see, I was confused. Clearly, I'm not smart enough because there are a litany of teams that have nicknames, and I thought it started with that letter, not
too.
that it was just the A's as in the Oakland
He's like,
Athletics.
no. This dude goes, the L's equal the Browns.
No,
I'm like, what is
I
happening?
made that as a joke.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like,
I got the joke.
We all know that the M's are the Seattle Mariners. The O's are also known as the Orioles and all that. Yeah, I gotta make sure I get that one right.
See, I thought it was the letter starts off the name of it, like Lakers equal L.
Okay, let's go with an easier question. Hopefully, this is easier.
2 + 2.
College basketball hands out the Naismith Awards for the best players. If we actually did it based off of Naismith's career in basketball, what would it be? Worst passer, worst shooter, most fouled, or worst coach?
So it's one of those 4.
It is one of those 4.
Worst passer, worst shooter, most fouls, worst coach.
Yes.
I'm going with worst coach.
Aaron with the correct answer.
All right.
While he was named the inventor of basketball, John Naismith had a coaching record of 55-60 from 1898 to 1907 with only 2 winning seasons. He is the only losing head coach in Kansas history.
You know, my doctor once played a game with me called colonoscopy, and it was a more fun game than this.
Hey, boy.
Excellent. I'll make sure to remember that when you have me at the next content meeting.
Thank you.
All right, next question.
Next question is bump music. We out.
Hey, man, it's tense in there. You guys, y'all want to take a break?
We should.
Reconvene on the other side,
Where's
man.
Michelle?
Nah, this is how you and Michelle started, too. Very tense. I was like, y'all going to swing?
Hey, Chase, we need content today.
Is that what we said?
Yes.
Okay. I don't remember saying it like that at all.
I miss Casey.
Yo.
Yeah. Coming in swinging. I didn't ask for any of that. I definitely invited you, though.
You did invite me.
I brought this on us.
You have invited me more times than the other person. I will say that because normally it's Brian. Brian normally does the inviting, and I just walk in.
Oh.
Yes. So I at least appreciate the invite, I guess.
He said the other person, like you can't say Casey's name anymore.
I'm just gonna, if you say him twice, he just magically appears.
It's like Voldemort, but
exactly.
like a lot heavier.
Or Beetlejuice. Beetlejuiced.
Look. LeBron had a great year as a player.
Had a Casey hotkey.
Okay.
There you go.
I had a couple of them.
I'm sure you get a lot of use out of that one.
You miss Casey?
The Baylor Bears.
Hey, Casey, how do you want your, what do you want to do with your chicken sandwich?
LeBron had a great year as a player.
I don't know. I only got those two.
Oh, okay.
I like that he threw the pen on that one.
Yeah. Barely didn't win that year either.
That literally made me miss Casey right there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Casey Kurtz.
I worked hard on these questions,
Shout out
too.
to Chip and Teresa Kurtz, who I haven't said hello to in a long time.
Mm-hmm. And also for not giving him a K for a middle initial.
I like how you didn't acknowledge the fact that he said he worked hard on these questions.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we should go to break. ESPN 690, back after the Sports Center.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine. If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE.
Main office, Jacksonville.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Thanks to Representatives John Rutherford, Aaron Bean, Kat Kamak, and Michael Waltz, Congress is poised to pass a bill to keep AM radio in cars. But time is running out. 82 million Americans risk losing the news, sports, talk, traffic, and vital emergency information they rely on. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to pass this bill now. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Rich Jones here. Investing can be more about just filling a bank account. It's about having a secure retirement, protecting your family. Let DLP Capital help you to protect your why. Here's CEO and founder Don Wenner.
I started DLP Capital with an expectation that I could provide my family, my investors, my team members, and the families of my investors with awesome returns, limited volatility, and no losses, all while providing desperately needed affordable housing to the American workforce.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Hi, it's me, your plumber, with important information for anyone interested in safe, soft, filtered water. Don't drink bottled water. Get advice from someone you trust, buy a water filter, and don't call those high-priced water guys. Instead, call me, your plumber. I recommend Safety Zone water systems, so you get top-quality equipment, affordable prices, and you'll save money too. Safety Zone is your #1 choice considering price, performance, and reliability.
Safety Zone Water is the single source water treatment supplier for the plumbing industry. Our distributor is Nolan Company Jacksonville, the leading plumbing wholesaler for water treatment in Northeast Florida. For sales and service, contact your local plumber or visit us at safetyzonewater.com.
Safety Zone Water.
The #1 water brand recommended by plumbers.
If you're experiencing domestic violence, Hubbard House is here for you. Access life-saving, life-changing resources by calling 904-354-3114.
If one game can get you into the Hockey Hall of Fame, this was it.
Hobie Baker starred for Princeton University in hockey and football and remains the only athlete in both the College Football and Hockey Halls of Fame.
The whole atmosphere was electric when he was playing.
You couldn't ignore him, this kind of blonde Adonis.
As famous as he was in his day, he is little remembered now. 30 for 30 podcast presents Searching for Hobie Baker. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Chris Paul is now 39 years old, and ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the deadline for the Warriors to guarantee his contract for next year is being pushed back to Sunday to see if they can find a trade for Paul. The team could also waive Paul for salary cap space. So now there's LeBron and Bronny James on the Lakers roster. How should new coach J.J. Redick deal with the 19-year-old? ESPN's Bob Myers.
If you're J.J., you sit down and say, listen, I might even be harder on you. Just understand that. It might not be fair, but I'm not going to have anyone saying that I'm taking it easy on you. You turn it over in practice, I'm going to say something to you. You do something on film, I'm going to say something to you.
Bob Myers. The Phillies put first baseman Bryce Harper and DH Kyle Schwarber on the injured list. Harper with a left hamstring strain, Schwarber with a left groin strain. Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray are both in the Wimbledon bracket, but there's no guarantee either of them will actually play because of injuries. The tournament starts Monday.
As humans, we like having options. One option you might like is speaking with a real person when you call about your credit card. With 24/7 live, U.S.-based customer service from Discover, everyone can talk to a real person anytime, day or night. Limitations apply. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
You ready? Yeah. Turn up your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. I should probably learn how to turn my mic on.
Maybe. Hey, Aaron.
If I want to be a professional. Yes, Brian.
Before you even do any of that, let me ask you this question.
Before I do anything, I'd like to answer your question.
If train A leaves London and travels across water, which has never been done before, at 70 kilometers per hour.
Sure.
Your friend's questions were wild.
My friend?
And had the audacity to be upset.
You were the one who told me it'd be a good idea to have him in here.
Alex Trebek is somewhere being like, nah, dog. Okay, that's not a good question.
I'll tell you that I knew as soon as he told us earlier in the day that he had a game for us to play that it was going to be somewhat of a disaster. That's part of Chase's charm, by the way.
It is. It is. I do like it, but Chase is fortunate that he didn't try that with Casey.
Casey would have blew him up, huh?
We would have got out of the segment. We would have done something. We would have done anything else differently.
I did want to showcase Chase's talents, though. I mean, if he wants to swim without the life jacket, that's fine. Apparently, that's what he wanted to do.
A little fine-tuning here and there.
You think that game needs fine-tuning? Mm-hmm. That game needs to be reconstructed. That game needs to get Tom Brady's plastic surgeon's phone number.
You'll never complain about Survey Says again. I'm about to say, who am I lying?
I don't complain about Survey Says.
Come on, man.
Do I complain?
Stop playing with me, man.
Am I a complainer?
Okay.
I don't think I'm a complainer. That's fine. The other day, you said I was just an angry person who hates love.
You do.
I love love.
News Queen agreed.
Well, you know, she's damaged in the brain a little bit. What? You see it. I don't got to tell you. She's got it on display for everybody. Did you hear the nonsense she brought to the radio this week?
Like an NFL football player that's played too long? What do you mean damaged in the brain?
She's got like news CTE or something, I think.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Just that your shots are so, like, biting sometimes, man.
Me? I'm the nice guy. I'm the nice guy.
Oh, boy.
Chase was really upset when he heard we were making fun of him yesterday. He didn't want to show it, but he was upset. Sometimes, Chase, it's your turn in the barrel.
Hey, boy, hey, man.
Personal foul.
Never.
You never heard?
Never.
You never heard of that, fish in a barrel?
Actually, no, that's not the terminology I heard with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But still, fish in a barrel. I'm good.
No, you put fish in a barrel, it's easy to shoot at him.
That's actually a good breakdown there.
Chase put himself in the barrel. Gave us the guns. He's like, go ahead, guys.
Let me give you this trigonometry problem.
I mean, before that, even in the hallway thing, it's like he's just sometimes he wants the smoke.
I don't know Jack. No, I don't know trigonometry 3. That's what I don't know, man.
I don't know the transitive property is the name of his trivia game. Jeez.
Thanks,
like
Chase.
You're supposed to make them easy enough for people to get the answers to sometimes. He's having us do like calisthenics before we even get to the part where we answer the question. This is the worst trivia ever. No offense, of course. No offense, Chase. He's a good guy. We're awaiting the arrival of very funny lady Annie Lederman, who's going to be playing the Comedy Zone this weekend. Tonight and tomorrow, 2 shows each night. If you want tickets to those shows, by all means, you can go get it at comedyzone.com. But before she comes in, I do have a couple of minutes here to get back to that thing about Tua that I wanted to talk about. And so the latest update comes courtesy, if my hotkeys are up, courtesy of Jeff Darlington.
But right now, there's 5 words that are looming over this contract negotiation, and they're the words that came out of Tua's mouth. The market is the market. He said that after Jared Goff had signed his deal and before Trevor Lawrence signed his. The complicated part of this is the Dolphins could point at that Jared Goff deal and say, well, we're not the Detroit Lions. We're not making that decision. But when Trevor Lawrence then leapfrogs it, you've got a situation because right now, the Dolphins are not offering the contract that is the market value based on those other deals that were done. So if this gets there, it's just going to require more negotiations. And we're not to panic point just yet. I just think that my optimism earlier has to be slightly scaled back at this point, given all of those factors currently in play.
Jeff, all right, Brian, I'm going to go ahead and stop Jeff Darlington because we have had a legitimate celebrity enter the studio.
Oh, really? Who?
Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce one very funny Annie Lederman to the Aaron Schachter
Wow,
Show.
Aaron, thank you for pronouncing that right.
Annie Lederman, I know your name. I know of you.
Thank you so much. I went on stage at the Comedy Store the other night. I was brought up by a friend of mine I've been friends with since we were doing open mics. Her name is Allie Wong. She's brought me up as Annie Lederman. Right? She brought me up as Annie Lederman.
Lederman.
I went, Allie, you said my last name wrong.
That's a funny little wordplay there. Look, maybe you think Allie was wrong because you know how to say your last name, but if I'm not mistaken, you hail originally from Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Isn't that a Dutch area?
It's Dutch, a little bit Dutch. And then, but I just found out, my parents told me, which is very weird. I knew that we were like we're a small percentage of Jewish, depending on where you guys lean. If you think that's cool or not.
Well, I come from a Jewish family, so I know the magic question.
Okay, so I'm 25%. Is it my mom or my dad?
Yeah, there's no such thing as 25%, Brian, according to Jewish families. Is your mother Jewish or is your father Jewish?
There's adoption on my mom's side, so we're not sure. But I will say it's my father's side.
Okay. So
it's my father's side.
So again, depending on if you are signing up to fight in a war or you're just claiming it doesn't seem like you would be accepted into the community.
I'm not. They don't allow it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I still try. I try.
You do try. You stand outside temple on
I stand
Saturday
outside
nights?
temple. I throw out the Jewish gelt, the candy, the little coins out to everyone.
It's like barking at the New York Comedy Club.
I do. I say, come on by. But so my parents told me that we're 25% Ashkenazi. Then the rest of the parts are Scottish and Irish. But I went to Ireland and I kept calling them and going, I feel like this is my homeland. And nobody was like, by the way, we're Irish.
Yeah.
Until I'm fine. I'm like, oh, I was correct. It was my homeland.
Well, now you know. And now you're sharing it with the rest of the world.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Annie Lederman playing the Comedy Zone this weekend, Brian, tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And tomorrow.
The Octagon.
2 shows each night. The Octagon. It is kind of an octagon.
It is an octagon.
So have you played there before? You just looked at the venue.
I played the other comedy zones, and they all have like the octagon.
I didn't know that.
It's
Okay.
fun.
Interesting. I thought that was unique to us.
No.
And this
sorry.
venue. Okay. Fair enough. I don't feel as special anymore.
But the crab leg special is unique to you guys, and that's pretty exciting.
Can we start before we get to Annie's history? Because I do want to roll all through your bio. This is a fun time for me. I've been looking forward to this interview. I want to roll all through your bio. We were going to play a game. We were going to figure out what parts of your Wikipedia are true or false. But it seems like they're all true, so you'll be able to help us figure that out.
Yes.
That being said, before we get there, I do want to address, you posted an Instagram reel earlier this week or last week. You were promoting your Jacksonville dates.
Yes.
And it felt to me like you were trying to speak Jacksonville to Jacksonville.
Well, I messed up because I had my trigger finger was not off. And I was, no. It's not even that I saw the comments. I'm so good at trigger finger and I just blew it on that one moment and I forgot to check. And I had cocked the gun. It was the worst case scenario. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
So to give context, Annie is standing there with a shotgun.
Oh, guys, it's so bad. It's like I deserve to have lost a little bit of my Jewish nose. Let's just say that. A quarter of my Jewish should have come off my face.
Important to note here, she's wearing a camo hat because she's going to be playing here in Jacksonville.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's right. She's got the shades on. She's got the red, white, and blue. These colors don't run bikini top and a fierce 8-pack of abs underneath that bikini top. Shout out to you.
Thank you.
And then she's talking to Jacksonville about giddy up, let's go. I'm coming to Jacksonville. Turns around and I'm assuming it was high-tech CGI technology where you blew up the clay pigeon.
Here's what I have to be very clear about. I did hit the clay pigeon. I'm actually a great shot. I manifested. Before I go in to do any activity that I'm not used to doing, I just go, I'm really good at this, and I always am.
Oh.
But I did hit the clay pigeon, but my fiance did not get it, and I was like, I'm not gonna. So we added a fake one, but I just want to say I did get it.
Okay.
Well, and the abs are real.
She turns around, 8-pack and all, and cocks the shotgun with her finger still on the trigger.
Guys, I may as well have spun it around. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. And then, I was talking to someone, they're like, oh, they're just trolling. I go, they're not trolling. By the way, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. The trigger finger comments, keep them coming.
Okay.
Teach me.
Okay. They're just trying to be helpful.
No, they're being helpful. It's not bad. I'm like, no. I'm with you. I blew it.
I did want to thank you for speaking the language of the people here in Jacksonville.
Thank you so much for seeing it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
All right. So let's get to who Annie Lederman is for those who are unfamiliar with her work, which I find hard to believe, but okay.
Tell it to the guy who thought I worked at the hotel earlier. He started asking me for another key. I was like, sir.
That's why.
He was like, I have an extra key.
Yeah, just follow me to the front desk. We'll ask them together.
I was like, a key bump? What are you talking about? What do you think I have on me?
So I asked the new expert in everything. I said to ChatGPT, explain Annie Lederman.
Ooh.
And so here's what ChatGPT told me about you.
Excited. Thank you.
It gave me 5 pillars of you.
Okay.
All right. The first pillar is stand-up comedy.
Yep.
It says Annie Lederman has built a reputation for her sharp wit, fearless comedic style.
Ooh.
Her comedy often explores personal experiences, relationships, societal norms delivered with a blend of honesty and humor.
Ooh, I like that. I got chills.
You get snaps on that one. Honesty and humor. Way to go. The second pillar are television appearances. You're known for your television appearances. She's appeared on various TV shows, including At Midnight, one of the greatest TV shows of all time.
Fun.
Chelsea Lately, This Is Not Happening. The appearances has helped showcase your comedic talents to a broader audience.
David Spade's Lights Out, Girl Code. All these things have been off air for quite a while.
Yeah, I was
it does get kind of embarrassing. Really
helping yourself a little bit.
I always tell people I was on Chelsea briefly instead of Chelsea Lately. Because it went off the air like a year after I started. It's like, was that my fault?
Seems to be a theme between Santa Fe College and then Chelsea Lately. Everywhere you go, destruction follows.
Yes, a restaurant I worked at went out of business too. Yep.
We're going to start adding those to your resume credits. The other pillars, writing. It says beyond performing, Lederman has contributed as a writer for shows like The Soup Investigates. I didn't know that The Soup investigated anything.
By the way, it was a spin-off version of The Soup, and I did one episode. It was really fun, and I did write my part, so that is true. I wrote on it, but I was like a segment person. They were kind of doing a daily show, and it got 6 episodes, so I was in that. And then years later, I met Joel McHale again, and I reintroduced myself. I got kind of like starstruck by him, and I reintroduced myself, and he was like, Annie, we did a TV show together.
I remembered you.
And I was like, oh my God. Like, I forgot me.
No, you remembered.
I got nervous. I don't know. I like Joel McHale. He's tall.
I will say, I've been in radio 21 years. I've met a lot of these rock stars and bands who at one point I was a huge fan of. Anyone who I've met multiple times who remembered, they don't even have to remember my name. They just have to remember something we all did together. oh, you were the guy we did that charity thing with. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a fan forever.
Yeah.
It
Well,
feels
sometimes
good.
I'm like, I wonder if I remember too many of my fans. Like, not even fans that are working in the industry. Sometimes I'm like, sometimes I'll be on stage at the Comedy Store, I'll be like, did you see me in Jacksonville? And they'll be like, yeah. And I'm like, maybe I'm remembering too much.
You think that's a bad thing? I think it's a good thing.
Maybe I'm too accessible, but it's funny. I was performing. I was like heckling this guy, or heckling. I was making fun of a guy in the front row.
Yeah, that's how it's a reverse heckle.
And I know. I'm like, I'm gonna mess you guys up. But so he looked so creepy, and I'm like, but it was a normal type of creep. It was like it felt
creepy,
familiar. And then his girlfriend goes, "We met you in Miami," and I went, "Oh, I thought I met him in my nightmares. He's so scary." And then you remind me, I met him in Dania Beach, and that's what the nightmare was.
Brian, could you write down normal type of creepy? Because I want to get back to that a little bit later.
Put on a t-shirt. Yeah.
Where you're like, you don't feel at risk, or the at risk you feel natural. Like, if you were to meet the person that was going to take you out forever, don't you feel like you would almost have a peace when you met them?
Yeah, a little bit. If you knew it.
If you're
right?
like, I think these might be the last eyes I ever look into.
As long as you were satisfied with those eyes. But if they were like creepy, beady eyes, I don't think it would be that satisfying.
Oh, lazy eyes, guys, murderers matter too.
Okay, fair enough. Another pillar of you, Annie, is podcasting. Now, you've actually been involved in a couple of different podcast dramas over the past couple of years.
I know, unfortunately. Gosh darn.
We don't have to necessarily rehash all of it. You want to find out about all the other stuff, whether it's the Trash Tuesdays podcast or the Brendan Schaub stuff, you can go look that up on YouTube. All I will say is this. I'm such a huge fan of Radio Wars. I grew up in the 90s during the age of Radio Wars. I don't find podcast fights as satisfying, and I don't know why.
Well, I don't think anyone wants to be in. Like, I think in radio it was like fun and helpful. This was like painful and not fun. Like, I think the audience had fun, and I'm happy that the audience had fun. I am happy I gave endless.
Okay, because the audience did have fun.
No, I'm happy for the audience. No, I am happy for the audience. I actually do. I'm happy for them. But it is funny. It's like, I worked with Sacha Baron Cohen. I had my own TV show. I did all these things. And like, I think my top credit might be Trug Walk. And that's so embarrassing.
It's
weird,
just not,
right? It's just not what I would want. And it's not my favorite, but I am happy that it gave people entertainment.
And then finally, the final pillar they list is your comedic style, which you're a hilarious person. And you're an open comedian as far as I can tell.
I do. I spill.
A lot.
I probably should not be podcasting, to be honest.
Well, I think that's actually the perfect kind of person. I get worried about this.
Right.
When we invited you on the show, I was like, I'm a little bit concerned.
What's she going to do?
Well, not just that you would drop any F-bombs or something like that. We got a dump button there. But then there are ways that things are said that aren't curses that I'm like, oh, we can't broadcast that. And I'm afraid almost everything that'll come out of your mouth is close to that. So I've got a little bit of anxiety energy.
When I started
with
talking about Jews, he probably got real nervous.
A little bit. I got to be honest with you.
Is she going to weigh in? He's like, is she going to weigh in on the old don't speakies offies?
I don't even know what that is. But you can see my skin is turning red right now.
Schmeest.
All right.
Did you guys see the debates? Were you talking about it?
We were not talking about the debates.
Because you're like, give it a break.
Well, I watched the debates. Brian, I doubt that you watched the debates. It doesn't feel like something you'd really tune in for after a long night of work.
I feel the same way that you feel right now that he said that to you.
I mean,
she's offended as well.
Thank you.
I just don't ever hear you politics anytime, ever.
Well, that's fair.
What do you mean by you when you said that to him?
I meant him specifically. That being said, I said yesterday or the day before that I don't see the point in talking about it here because
everyone else is going to be.
You just cut everybody off. You cut half people off. And like, that's not necessarily what people expect when they come here.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about, I feel the same way. I never want to talk, I don't really talk about politics. I do like a couple little jokes, but it's like, how boring is that to do?
But this is actually something I wanted to talk to you about because as a comedian, it's how do you ignore what's actually happening?
Well, I was flying, so I missed the entire debate, which apparently so did Joe Biden. But it's just, I just don't even jump in.
Smart.
I'd rather be silly.
Yeah, me too. Although I think there used to be a place or a time where you could be silly with politics.
People are so... I do think it's funny when... I like that the audience never really knows where I stand. I think that's fun. I like a split audience. I like to have to entertain a room full of different types of people. That's my most fun. It feels like...
It's the most difficult these days.
It's hard, but it's fun. And I like to just like kind of tease everyone.
I'm surprised you actually have found success trying to do that.
But you don't want to... Because I don't know. I just feel like...
Like, I've been to comedy shows in the last year or two, not even 4, 5, 6 years ago, the year or two, where the joke starts. You haven't even got to the punchline yet.
People are upset.
And we're not upset. Just they're shouting. They're assisting. You know, it's like it's a heckle where they're not making fun of the comedian. They're trying to join in on the fun. And first
People
of all,
just get really triggered by.
yeah. But first of all, it's like, stop it. You're not here to join in. Just shut up. But also, like, allow you to cook, and like do your thing, and don't give me your. You're not here to give your opinion. People didn't pay the ticket for the audience opinion.
Well, do you know this much of Annie trivia? I first started opening, my first time on the road, I was opening for Jim Norton in the height of Opie and Anthony.
Yeah.
So I learned how to deal with a wild audience very early on. So
difference between Jimmy's audience and a political audience, though.
Now, I mean, it would probably be the same. If Opie and Anthony was still on, it would probably be similar.
You think so?
Don't you think?
No, I don't. I mean, granted, by the end of that show, for anyone who listened, Anthony certainly got extremely political and racist.
It got wild.
But the show wasn't necessarily political, although they did talk about politics because they were shooting at everybody, right? They were just making jokes. I don't think I ever heard Jim Norton do politics until this most recent iteration of his radio show.
Right.
That being said, I still.
Well, he likes to talk about the polls, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. He likes to talk about his marriage as well, which is somewhat similar, I think.
Yes.
That being said, hard to do political commentary, especially when you're going from city to city and the favor changes with people.
Yeah.
But you have your own audience at this point.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, too, though. I do like traveling a lot, and you see kind of what's going on. Like, a lot of people in 2020 didn't think that Trump was going to win, except comedians. We were like, what? You're not traveling. Like, people were in pockets. Like, they were, and we're like, this is not that surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it is interesting when you have to now mesh people's anger over that stuff with jokes.
You know what I always try to say, too? Because it's like, I think growing up, I had to, which we'll get to in the Wikipedia, I had some, like, things where I had to be, like, kind of, like, hypervigilant. And then I just really try to not get upset about anything. I just try to laugh and have a good time. I think
how's that working out for you?
It works okay.
It's not working so well for me, by the way.
My TMJ has finally given up, has finally released. But it's just letting it go and laughing.
Yeah.
Because my parents are old and they're like really funny. My mom will my dad will fall into the wall. He has bad balance.
Oh.
And they'll just start laughing.
Sounds dangerous.
But instead of being like, oh no, dad has no balance, they just laugh and laugh and laugh.
Well, now we see where you get it from.
Yeah. I think it's the way.
Fair enough. Let's take a quick break, Brian.
Okay.
It's the Aaron Schachter Show, ESPN 690, 904-362-9901. Annie Lederman at the Comedy Zone tonight and tomorrow. 2 shows, early show, late show. Some tickets still available, not many tickets still available, but you can get them at ComedyZone.com. When we come back, a little bit more with Annie. We'll talk about the history and some of the wild, wild things that are in your backstory. Back in a minute on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A widely scattered shower or storm into early this evening, and then we'll see clearing skies overnight as temperatures drop into the muggy 70s, and then a hot and humid Friday with a mix of clouds and sun, scattered midday and afternoon showers and thunderstorms with highs 90 to 95. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. It's Christmas in July. Save up to 40% store-wide at Beard's Diamonds.
Meet Dennis, talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
My first treatment, I actually felt a great improvement. It actually allowed me to dress myself by increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I did physical therapy for approximately 8 weeks, and it did not help in increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I've told many people about the results that I had. I thought it was incredible. I'm very active. I do play a lot of golf. I fish a lot. I hunt. I bowl, and it just made it a lot easier with less pain. The pain was more manageable, yes. I don't take medications.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You
cool!
Our returning champion, a basketball court sweat mopper from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Louis Cramp.
Great to be back, Merv.
There's only one category left on the board, Louis. People you can trust to repair your air conditioner. Your 10 seconds starts now.
Well, I'm pretty handy with tools around. So my Uncle Steve used to fix transmissions, so maybe he could... Okay, sorry. I guess just call the guys at Bueller?
That's right, Louis. The highly trained technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing have the tools and the experience to service any make and model of home air conditioner to make sure that you are cool.
You sure I can't just have a quick...
Yeah, we're done for today.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hi, it's me, your plumber, with important information for anyone interested in safe, soft, filtered water. Don't drink bottled water. Get advice from someone you trust, buy a water filter, and don't call those high-priced water guys. Instead, call me, your plumber. I recommend Safety Zone water systems, so you get top-quality equipment, affordable prices, and you'll save money too. Safety Zone is your #1 choice considering price, performance, and reliability.
Safety Zone Water is the single-source water treatment supplier for the plumbing industry. Our distributor is Nolan Company Jacksonville, the leading plumbing wholesaler for water treatment in Northeast Florida. For sales and service, contact your local plumber or visit us at safetyzonewater.com.
Safety Zone Water.
The #1 water brand recommended by plumbers.
Ammon here with Zero Res. After a long day's work, my family and I love to sit on our favorite sofa and recliners and watch a good TV show. It kind of helps us wind down for the day. We usually pass around some fresh popcorn too. That's why we need to bring home the Zero Res truck and get that furniture looking great again.
For the month of June, Zero Res is offering 25% off all upholstery cleaning. That's 25% off a sectional, 25% off a sofa, 25% off a love seat, and 25% off your favorite recliner. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com or in stores at your local CVS.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. ESPN 690, me and Brian Middleton with you up until 5 with Annie Lederman, who's performing at the Comedy Zone tonight and tomorrow. 2 shows each night. ComedyZone.com for your tickets. Affordable tickets, Annie.
Let's go.
That's cool. I'm glad you're into it. Just grab that mic, by the way.
Oh, no mic in my
There you
face.
go.
Hilarious. It's like I don't do this for a living. Sometimes I'll shoot like all of my ads for my podcast.
Yeah.
And my friends are like, you didn't have your mic the entire time. I'm like, oh. I just feel like, this is so free. I feel so free.
Are you finding the podcast is, can you make a living off of it? Or is it more about marketing for you?
No, you can make a living off podcasts, big living.
Not everyone can.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be good at it. And you have to have, like, an actual fan base. Yeah.
Well, I'm always I feel like I'm this work in progress where I'm always like, what is this going to turn into? You know, I call it Anniewood because it's just kind of like whatever my world is or whatever. But now we just started doing like, in the last episode, we're doing just kind of a monologue in the beginning. And that was really fun. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of, it's fun, but it is a good companion to sell tickets and stuff like that. And yeah, but it's fun. Yeah.
I think it's awesome you're getting it done and it's working out for you. Obviously, you transitioned from a pretty popular podcast into that podcast.
Yeah.
The reason you gave was because you needed more time to focus on your stuff.
I was so tired. I was just showing up everywhere like a loser. Like I just was barely being funny. I was not writing any new jokes. I've been talking about doing a special I've been doing comedy 15 years. I haven't done a comedy special yet.
Everyone and their mother is doing a special now.
I know, which is kind of sad. I'm like, I want my special to be special.
You think it's sad? I think it's actually great.
Well, it's sad for me that I didn't get to have a special. Now I have to make my special.
Okay, now I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
You want to feel special with your special, is what you're saying.
So I'm like,
because a lot of people are DIY specials now.
Yes,
yeah.
But I was I was really drained, and I'm telling you, I had my body was. I had a respiratory infection for almost 2 months. My jaw was like all clenched, and now I'm like totally relaxed. I feel great. I feel good. But it was a hard choice to make. I mean, it's like we were doing that podcast for 3 years, and it was doing well. It just was like I can't do this anymore.
Well, now you don't have to. Now you're doing your own thing. Whew. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at your history for a little bit.
Let's go.
Because according to Wikipedia, the following is true. I always think it's funny when you go to Wikipedia for a little bit of the background. Me and Brian were reading through this earlier in the week. I'm like, I don't know that all this could be true, but then the more we looked, it was like, yeah, actually, I think a lot of this is true. So, first and foremost, born in Philadelphia. I know that's true.
Yep,
right?
University of Pennsylvania.
You have a twin brother.
Yes, who works for Comcast for NBC Sports in Boston.
Oh, wow.
He's the Celtics guy.
Famous family.
He's won 4 Emmys now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I want an Emmy. That's cool.
Well, everyone I touch wins. My fiance won an Emmy, so you're going to win an Emmy.
That's awesome. That means I'm getting touched today,
I'm an
Brian.
Emmy giver.
Okay, cool. A soothsayer.
Yes.
You were raised a Quaker?
I was brought up a Quaker.
What does that mean?
Okay, Quakerisms, there's 2 types of Quaker. One is programmed, which is very much like the Bible, sermons, stuff like that. Very kind of normal church.
How's it different from the standard church that everyone
You sit in silence. So there was this guy, I think his name was John Fox. There was a song we used to have to sing. But back in the day, who, when he felt moved to speak, he would like shake, he would quake. So the Quakers were, you would sit in silence, and then if you feel moved to speak, you would start shaking, and God would like be speaking through you, and he'd stand up and talk.
Interesting.
Now, as a kid, I was unprogrammed, so you would just sit in silence. There's no pastor, there's no preacher, there's no Bible really, nothing really like that.
Would you have to quake as a form of prayer?
No, the quaking had subsided. They had been like, all right, the quaking's a little much.
Is it possible that he just had like Parkinson's or something?
It could have been early onset Parkinson's, but I will say this. I think it's why I do stand up, because it would sit in silence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so you're in all these facing benches, so you're all looking at each other or looking down. And sometimes in the winter, can you see me on the camera?
You're good.
There we go.
Please continue.
I'll show you my good side later. I would have to turn around.
Brian, you get ready on that dump button, Brian.
I'm just kidding. The Ozempic took my butt. But anyway, so everyone's mad at me, but it's fine. So you sit in silence, you're facing each other, and then if you feel moved to speak, you stand up, you speak in front of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we were doing this on Sundays, and then we went to a Quaker school, so on Wednesday morning, they would put all the children, which was actually child abuse, to put children in a room and make them be silent for 45 minutes.
Oh, that's true.
And I have just like raging ADD, so it was really hard. But I spoke every time, obviously. I loved it, but I would be nervous. It felt like when I was starting open mics, like you're nervous. You're like, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
And my twin brother always made fun of me because he said that I would say these things that were so like profound. Like I was obviously trying to get like claps from the teachers. And so I would stand like the kids in Somalia. And, every time I take a bite of my food, I think of the kids that can't eat, just hamming it up for them.
Yeah.
And I would stand up with like existential thoughts. I remember standing up once and being like, do you ever think at night about why you're you? Why are you in your body? And why is your mom and your dad's your dad and your neighbors are your neighbor? Like, why wasn't I born my neighbor with their parents? And I would just stand up and say stuff like that. And my brother's like, you would just say things and the teachers would be like tearing up. But I think I kind of learned that I wanted that I liked being looked at while I was talking.
Now, a little wild to me because I hear Quaker, not knowing much about it.
Thinking of the oatmeal.
I'm thinking religious, even more religious than average religious.
No. Okay, so the programmed is pretty religious. The unprogrammed is like hippies. Yeah. It's just the belief is that God's in the form of an inner light, so there's just goodness in everyone. And
that's not bad.
It's not bad, but my fiance is always trying to he's like, we have to kill the Quaker in you because it gets me into so much trouble. I mean,
got a little dark there.
It gets dark. It gets like, you're just like, I'll see the good in this person that everyone else is like this is a scary person. I'm like, no, they must be fine.
Normal type of creep.
Yeah, I was
the normal type of creep has a light in his heart. Yeah.
Good callback.
During your teenage years,
yes,
you trained as a junior Olympic swimmer?
Well, I was training. I just started this program called Spirit that was at the George School, which was, I don't remember exactly how long. It was definitely over an hour to drive there. My next door neighbors were doing it already, or they weren't next, they were in the neighborhood. Neighborhood kids were doing it. And it was so you would train in the morning. So you would go in the morning, you'd train for a couple hours before school, then you would do your homework in the car. Or I guess you would do the homework at night, and then you would go after school. So it was like this really aggressive training program. And I went one day and I tried out and I loved it. And they invited me and they invited my mom to come back and check out the program. So then on the way to go for my mom to check it out, my neighbor was driving, her son was next to me on the right, and their other friend was next to me on the left, and then my mom was in the passenger side in the shotgun, and a drunk driver, a woman coming to pick her kids up, veered over into the lane and hit us head on.
A little foreshadowing here.
Yeah, and I broke my, and now I'm a supporter of her. She's my number one fan. No, so then I broke my foot, and it was just this thing where if I hadn't gotten that accident, I would have joined the swim team. Who knows how long I would have lasted, if I would have stayed in, if I would have.
You would have been an Olympian, maybe.
I might have been an Olympian. I really did like the program. I felt really excited about it, and I think I lacked. Nobody really disciplined me in my household, so because there was this thing that was so aggressively disciplined, I think I would have thrived in it. But instead, I broke my foot, and then it was just like I started smoking cigarettes and.
Well, not to get darker
Let's go dark,
or take
baby.
it
Let's
down,
go.
but the very next thing in your Wikipedia is about a male teacher from your school.
I got Jackson Pollocked.
Doing some rule break. Easy, Brian. You okay?
I got Jackson Pollocked.
You're all right.
I'm going to run for mayor in 20 years. I got to think through all of this stuff. How do I react?
So what was the, how old were you at that point?
15, 16.
And do you tell your parents?
I eventually told my parents, yeah. Well, because we had to go to court.
Usually, I say usually, I don't know that it's usually. It feels like a lot of the times when a woman comes forward about an assault, a sex assault specifically, they're met with pushback as opposed to support.
It wasn't great. Yeah, the aftermath was definitely worse than the actual event, I would say. It was pretty bad. And then, but,
Did it make you wish you hadn't come forward?
No, it gave me goodwill it made me proud of myself. It gave me self-esteem. I think that I was willing to do that. And it wasn't really about me. After it happened, it wasn't really about me. It was about, I'd kind of already gotten, it was just like, how do I stop this behavior? But, so when I did go to court, he got 3 years probation. It was like barely
3 years
anything.
probation?
My parents signed some sort of deal. Here's the thing. This is why you got to kill the Quaker. The Quaker and my parents, they were sending me over to
he's
this guy's
asked for
house.
forgiveness. We could let him go.
My parents sent me. Yeah, it was like, but we've worked through this.
Okay.
But it is like, their kindness was almost like, oh, let's see the good in other people at the expense of our own children, the safety of our children and stuff, which they didn't mean to, but that's really how it landed.
They thought they were doing the right, just thing, but in reality,
no, it's like
it doesn't feel that
fight
way.
The man
Yes.
and have him. But anyway, so that happened, and then throughout the years, I've as my profile has grown, and I've sort of told the story on bigger platforms than this.
I appreciate that.
Did you get my little dig while you were saying that?
I do it more than you do. It's fine.
But no, it's fun to self-deprecate, right? Because then you can hit everyone else harder too if you hit yourself hard.
I get yelled at for self-deprecating at home by my 6-year-old. My 6-year-old
that's
does
so
not have. It really is
cute.
adorable. I called this a stupid radio show, Brian, the other day. I was like, yeah, just on my dumb radio show. She goes, don't call it dumb.
I am shifting this though, because I do think if you start stating more positive things, it does align with your life.
For healthy people.
But you're doing great.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Who has a show? Nobody has a show. You have a show.
I have a show.
An ESPN show. It's huge.
I have a show. Thank you.
Haven't heard one thing about a sport. I don't even know if this guy, he obviously doesn't play sports, but I don't know if he watches.
Hey.
It's fun to be mean. No, but
it is fun to be mean. I tried to do that last segment. I got shot at by a coworker. It was crazy.
Oh, no. Don't say shot at.
I guess we can't.
Not in this town.
Not in this time. In this town, it's fine, actually.
I know what happened to Julio Fulio or whatever.
It's Julio Fulio. And now you're going to have a couple of people waiting for you outside.
Say,
I'm not connected to this at all. Matter of fact, I don't even know who Annie Lederman is.
I gotta live here. By the way, I didn't even say that. You guys corrected the name. Okay.
Luckily, there's nobody listening to this radio show.
I know. This is great. I can't wait to sell ticket. I came on here to sell ticket.
Good job.
Someone was like, the tickets are too high. I was like, and then I looked them up, and they're $20.
They're $20.
I'm like, come on.
Are you kidding me?
I'm a pack of smokes, guys. I'm a pack of smokes. I'm a pack of smokes.
Goodness.
But
we were talking about the aftermath of the horrible things.
Yeah, but okay, so I would tell it on other podcasts and stuff, and people would find out, and then I would get hit up by people from my school, and it's like the whole school, there was like crazy stuff going on in school. So I'm always like, do I just put everything else to the side and just do like a crazy documentary, just like
that'd be
about this
okay.
school and make it funny? Because whenever you see like...
You're going to make that funny. Okay.
I make everything funny. What am I going to... Because all the diddle documentaries are dark. They're sad.
Yeah.
And the people never seem better afterwards. They're still in
I see.
the trauma.
You're looking for a happy ending.
I'm like...
Yeah.
It made me funny.
Have you seen the Tickle Fight documentary?
That's a good one.
Because that seemed a little funny at first and then turned dark.
Well, it is like a tickle.
Yeah.
As a tickle is.
A little funny, and then it turns,
And then you're like, I'm being abused.
Am I the only... I hate getting tickled.
It's
really an assault.
It is an assault.
I hate it.
Yeah, and it's such an easy way for parents to change your mood. So, of course, they're addicted to doing it. Because they want to,
Brian, you like getting tickled?
No, I'm good. I'm not ticklish.
You sure?
Actually, yeah.
Really?
I could just run up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
I
Your
feel like-
face kind of looks like you're not ticklish. You
Hey.
kind of have like a stoic.
Look at that. Another compliment.
Like you're
Is
not
that
gonna
another guess,
show
another
the-
compliment.
Is that a compliment?
Yeah, being stoic,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
Look it up,
saying you're
what it means,
Stonehenge.
though.
He can weather storms, tickles. That's amazing.
Weathering
Dating
storms
profile.
important today, by the way. You came on a rough weather day.
Oh my God, they call me the
Sure.
global warming, the global warming
There
of
it
comedy
is.
because
There it
I
is.
bring weird weather. Everywhere I go, there's something wrong. I went to Canada over the winter. It was the coldest it had been in 20 years.
Wow.
In Edmonton.
Negative
Everywhere I go, they're like,
320.
there's a disaster.
Yeah.
I'm
And
like,
that's
okay.
nothing to do with your set.
Yes. No, and the set is we call that we shake, we quake. It's a Quaker meeting. Silence.
So, continuing with your history here, I guess you graduated from high school at 16.
Yeah,
Shout
it's
out
weird.
to
They let you graduate when you take a teacher to court. They're like, you've done enough.
We'll give you this.
Wow, you're brilliant.
It's like an honorary doctorate from the high school. It's like, you can go now. You can go. So, wait, you worked as a dolphin trainer in Hawaii?
Yes, I did a program called at the Dolphin Institute at the Koala Basin Marine Mammal Lab. So I was 17. So I had this year that I was supposed to be in school. And believe it or not, the juvenile delinquent school charged a lot of money. So my parents had already saved the money to send me there. So instead, they helped me travel and do these programs and stuff, which also, by the way, is so dangerous to send your 17-year-old kid to all these places. But whatever. I'm glad I went and survived.
Well, I ask about the dolphin training thing because
Yes.
I'm very torn on this.
No, well, this is what I'm going to explain to you. So we go, and it was really cool. It was with the University of Hawaii. The UH had a program, a marine biology program, and they had 4 dolphins: Hiapu, Akekamai, Alele, and there's another one I'll remember.
Kawawa is pissed. You don't
There was
remember her
another
name
one.
right
I know
now.
there's another one. Well, they're all dead, but not to bury the lead here, but. So it was cool. They were testing their echolocation. So the melon, which is the fatty tissue on top of dolphins' heads, they echolocate. So instead of really using their eyes, they're sending out vibrations, and they can kind of feel the patterns of things. So they were testing that by having all these different is it PCP pipes?
PVC.
I was going to say because
PCP pipes are also exist.
They also are in my Wikipedia
they're a
for
lot more
another
fun
a little bit earlier
than
period
PVC
of my life.
pipes. Yeah.
Okay, I know I'm going to say the wrong one, but so it was different pipes, and they would put them in these specific things. And the dolphins, they would put these cups over the dolphins' eyes, and the dolphins would have to pick. It was very cool, and we learned how to. You would feed them the fish as their reward and stuff. It was really awesome. I actually worked shadowing a behavioral therapist with autistic kids, and it was, I'm not even kidding, very similar type of training, and it was really cool. It was just an interesting thing.
Our friend Barry Rothbard actually has a very funny bit about dolphins.
Oh, doesn't he? And we aren't allowed to say it on this radio
No, we're
station.
not.
But
No,
it
we're
does
not.
start with the same letter as radio. And it ends with
okay.
Yeah, rhyme it for me. We've had luck with that.
Take the G. Take the G out of grape.
Yeah.
And it's about dolphins
There you go.
enjoying grapes. Anyway, so
Well, let me ask you this, because the reason I'm torn is because...
But the dolphins ended up dying. This is what I wanted to say. Is this why
Okay.
you're torn? Because you're taking dolphins out of captivity?
Well, yeah, I just don't think they should be in captivity. Yeah.
So the thing, I think the way they justify it is to be like, the more we learn, the more we can conserve, the more money from the government we'll get to be able to conserve for the dolphins in the wild. However, the dolphins did die.
Yes.
One by one, they dropped dead.
It's depressing for them.
Okay, Kamai died of stomach cancer, and then all three, they said, died of broken hearts. I'm like, broken hearts?
Depression.
They got depressed.
No, it's legit a thing. They give up the will to live. They have the whole ocean to swim in, and then we put them in like these small areas for the rest of their life. I'm going to cry.
But here's the thing. I've become a reptile person. I'm a reptile mother now. This is a new thing.
What kind of reptile?
There's a lot of reptiles.
Well,
but my
what are
fiance
you
tricked
into?
me. We have 6 snakes. We have 5 geckos. We have a blue tongue skink. We have an Ackie monitor. We have.
It's a little bit weird.
It's too much. We went from 0 to like so many.
Yeah.
There's just thousands of years worth of animals in my house.
You legit have dinosaurs living.
We just got
amongst
a little. They do look like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I make fun of dinosaurs too on my set, but we have a little turtle, a little tiny tortoise we named Turtle Tim Dillon.
Like a little teacup turtle.
He's a little baby Turtle Tim Dillon. Tim's was like, thank you for naming the turtle after me.
Another hilarious guy.
Oh, I
Tim Dillon.
love Timmy. Timmy's my sugar daddy.
He's great.
It's so nice to have a sugar daddy that doesn't want to beach.
Yeah.
It's just would be
Sure.
disgusted if you came near him.
Sure.
Oh, so she probably leans with you on Bill Belichick.
Well, I think Tim Dillon is actually of another kind of persuasion of attraction.
Yes, he's into.
He's into men.
Let's just say my torso is his type, but other than that, I'm flat. Now,
so after the dolphin training, you go to Central America?
I went to Central America. I did like a service work program there. So we were.
What does that mean, service work? Because I think of wait staff. What is service work?
That's cute because I did end up there. It was, you go to another country and you just are of service to them. So we went to Guatemala.
I am here to serve.
Well, in Guatemala, I know the white people have arrived. I went to Guatemala.
I believe it's pronounced Guatemala.
And I went Guatemala. I just whited it up. Guatemala. And we learned English there, and then we were teaching English. Or we learned Spanish, and we were teaching English to the kids.
Service.
And then we went to Costa Rica, and we did Habitat for Humanity. And then we went to Honduras, and we did a sea turtle project, which I was actually anti-sea turtles afterwards because they were so gross. And
Is
I
that
ate
a position
coconut.
people actually take, anti-sea turtle?
No, I'm the only one. I was Team Straw.
Okay.
I was like, I'm Team Straw for a while because they were so disgusting to me.
I actually think Jimmy Norton has the same position.
Well, I was.
Yeah.
He's Team
Straw.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so I love Jim. But okay, so while I was there, so I'm 17 years old. They give you the responsibility of, so you would go at night. They had all these leatherback sea turtles would come in and they would lay their eggs. They go into this trance, and they basically storm very slowly, storm the beach, and they come up and they get into this trance and they use their little fins and they dig a hole and then they plop these like nasty turtle eggs down.
Yeah.
Now I ate a bad coconut. Okay. So I was not well. And then I had to see the juice from the,
Sure.
This is the thing he was worried about me talking about.
We were actually talking about labor fluids yesterday, too.
Yes. It was like the mucus plug. I saw the mucus plug leave. And it was just so nasty, and I was so sick that I then associated all turtles with this kind of nastiness. And so they would lay the eggs, and then we would have to catch them. Okay. Meanwhile, we're in all black.
You guys
we
would
look
have
like stage crew.
You would interfere with them.
But
That's a huge crime here.
But I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. So we'd have to dress in all black, and we had to put red jellies over our lights and stuff so the turtles wouldn't see us.
Okay.
So you would catch them and then you'd put them in a hatchery and we'd hatch them and then put them back because people were stealing the eggs because they're a delicacy.
People are
But
messed
then
up, man.
they put me, 17 years old, barely speak Spanish, and I had the hatchery duty. So I'm guarding it from the guys with the machetes. And it was a lot of money, those eggs.
Yeah.
So that was scary, but I lived through it. But I was Team Straw for a while, and now I'm back to Team Turtle.
Yeah, we have the whole turtle hatching beach crawl here, and anyone who messes with them does like 20 years in jail. It's ridiculous. It's a real crime.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that means we're going to break. All right, we'll jam a little bit. It's the Aaron Schachter Show. Talking to Annie Lederman, performing at the Comedy Zone all weekend long. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow. Get your tickets at ComedyZone.com. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes, ESPN 690.
I'm sad. I wish I could have gotten here an hour earlier.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Meet Abiana talking about her experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
I started doing the BioTarget therapy for plantar fasciitis, and I noticed an improvement immediately. It was almost impossible for me to put my feet down to take a proper step. After the first treatment, I was able to actually walk and do so without limping. I kind of felt like because they were offering a money-back guarantee, it made me feel like they're sure the treatment would definitely work. I would definitely recommend this treatment to anybody that I know because it works.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit gobiotarget.com today.
There's an issue cutting through the partisan bickering in Congress. It's AM radio. The overwhelming majority of legislators, Democrats and Republicans, support a bill to keep AM radio in cars. But time is running out. Text AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor for a vote now. AM radio is too important to let this moment pass us by. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool.
Feeling the heat, Jacksonville? Cool down with Bold City Heating and Air. From repairs to energy-efficient installs, we do it all. Family-owned and trusted since 2016. Call Bold City Heating and Air today.
The lightest 350 horsepower onboard has just hit the water. Introducing the all-new Yamaha 4.3-liter V6 Offshore F350 with advanced features and class-leading power to weight. Every run will be more efficient and exhilarating. The new 4.3-liter V6 Offshore F350 from Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
Hi, it's me, your plumber, with important information for anyone interested in safe, soft, filtered water. Don't drink bottled water. Get advice from someone you trust. Buy a water filter. And don't call those high-priced water guys. Instead, call me, your plumber. I recommend Safety Zone water systems, so you get top-quality equipment, affordable prices, and you'll save money too. Safety Zone is your #1 choice considering price, performance, and reliability.
Safety Zone Water is the single-source water treatment supplier for the plumbing industry. Our distributor is Nolan Company Jacksonville, the leading plumbing wholesaler for water treatment in Northeast Florida. For sales and service, contact your local plumber or visit us at safetyzonewater.com.
Safety Zone Water.
The #1 water brand recommended by plumbers.
Texting enrolls you in a reoccurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
10. Nice work. Thanks. Taking Nugenix Total T makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas, right?
Yes.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yes. Nugenix is a great way to feel stronger with more energy and endurance. And as Frank says, she'll like it too.
Text radio to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix. Text RADIO to 321-321. That's radio to 321-321.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-204-4240. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-204-4240 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. About to close up shop, ESPN 690, hanging with Annie Lederman, closing out the show. Annie, you have broken the record for guest the longest sitting in that chair.
I tried to make it longer, too. I was telling you, I was an hour late because I had to walk to Whole Foods to get a toothbrush today.
She doesn't understand the Florida humidity, Brian.
It was a 4-minute walk. I was my body was sweating and heated up in air conditioning for 1 full hour afterwards. I was like,
Listen, a 4-minute walk in that kind of humidity is the kind of humidity you go home, you take a shower, and you come out of the shower sweating.
I was like, I lost my ability to be a grown up. I was like,
this is why I don't go outside here. No. Everyone makes fun of me here. Yes. I don't go outside here.
No. There's no outside.
It's ridiculous. The people who were born and raised here have a special kind of superpower, or as Brian likes to call it, Tuscan leather skin. But it is a special kind of superpower.
Now, they build up to the Tuscan leather.
They have to, like a super callus.
Years of
because it's ridiculous. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I do love Florida too. I really love performing here. I love Florida audiences. I have so many friends that live in Florida. And every time I come here, I'm always like, I wonder if I could move to Florida. And the second I'm outside, I go, I cannot live this. I like to live in California where the taxes are high and the humidity is low. I will give you 50% of my income to have a slight breeze.
I don't know about all that. 50% of the income seems a little bit rough.
Well, I don't know. I'm not actually in that bracket yet, but I'm on my way.
Well, future
Humble
congratulations
brag.
to
I
you.
like it.
I'm on my way.
Brian, a little Annie Lederman trivia here. Did you know she was in Grand Theft Auto 5?
I did.
Oh, you must have read the same thing I read.
Or played it and recognized my name.
Annie?
Wow.
You played Cheryl.
Cheryl Fox.
Was that something through Laszlo used to work?
It was through Laszlo. It was from Opie and Anthony. He heard my voice. He's like, it's got to be you. And then he paid me. I think I made like $800.
Really?
Yeah. I'm always like, Laszlo, you owe me a car or something. Like I'm owed something.
I'm surprised that he paid that much.
And Laszlo doesn't work at Rockstar anymore,
Yeah,
but
he's out.
he lives in Santa Monica and I live in Venice, so we go on walks sometimes. I do love Laszlo.
That's cool.
Laszlo's awesome.
You bring your lizards out on walks?
No, the lizards were okay. So we just started having reptiles it's under a year now. And we bought one snake who's 6 years old, who's big and awesome, and he hadn't eaten.
It's probably like an albino Burmese python or something.
No, but he's butter ichi, so he looks albino.
Okay.
He's a butter ichi.
This a culture thing, Brian?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of things, but I didn't want to interject.
You said it's a white people thing. He's saying snakes.
Snakes?
Culture.
Sorry, it's a culture
Go
thing.
to Venice Beach. It's not a white person thing.
It's an every person
West.
thing. All right.
Different culture.
It is a different culture.
Again.
I am a unicorn as far as a white snake person on Venice Beach.
It's pretty much dogs and cats here. Like, what other animals are there over here?
Well, because I think you have reptiles all naturally
that is
everywhere.
true. There are
This is the
lizards
climate.
everywhere.
Every YouTube I watch of a reptile person, they all live in Florida.
Yeah.
They all
When
farm
I first moved here, it was wild. I remember like calling my mom going, I don't understand how there are all these lizards out here. And then the ducks had these red heads. They looked like turkeys. I was like, I don't even know what animal I'm looking at right now. This is crazy to me. I didn't get it. It was a culture shock for sure. But here we are.
But snakes are white people. I kind of get that.
Face to face, couple of silver spoons.
What else we got, guys?
I'm sorry.
What else we got?
Talking about callbacks. I do have a question.
Oh, question for Brian?
It's not as
Wait
interesting,
a
but
second.
breaking news, really? Okay.
Brian's got a question. Go ahead, bud.
Annie, I'm sure you've heard this plenty of times, but I'm always interested in people who are like really succeeding in their careers.
Is this me again or no?
No, Annie.
Oh,
so
I was confused too.
when was the moment? Because I'm sure there was an actual moment.
The fame moment.
Where you were like, you know what? I actually could make a living.
Oh, just making a living.
Laugh.
I want to know when the moment
early.
was.
The making a living thing was early. It was because I started making money on comedy a few years in 2000. I started in 2009, 2011. The restaurant I was working at went out of business. And at that same time, I got
the Annie Lederman effect.
I Letterman'd it. I got a job doing Bachelor recap videos for this iPad app called The Daily.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. I mean, if you go back and watch them, just know that we were allowed to say different things back then. And
you really do have to give a disclaimer for everything in media.
The word that rhymes with Annie was very normal to say.
Yeah.
About a new group of a community that's popping up.
Oh.
But and marrying Jim Norton. But you were allowed. It was like not forbidden. So if you see this stuff, just know it was a different time. But that's when I started making money, and it was like $500 a week. But I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it could sustain off.
And then, but when did I start to feel like really? I think the Comedy Store documentary, when I was in that felt really special because the final episode was a roundtable of comics, and it was me, Whitney Cummings, Joe Rogan, Bill Burr,
massive names,
Jay Leno, Paul Rodriguez, and then Mike Binder, the guy who made it, and it was like, and then me, and I just felt so amazing, and it was during when everyone was still wearing masks, even though I know you guys didn't have those here. But
why were you wearing masks? I don't understand.
I know. I'm not even going to bring it up. I feel like to bring up masks in the pandemic is like you're so mentally ill to still
It
be
was
talking
definitely
about
a different experience. Yeah.
Well, that's why I love. I mean, I was like Florida.
Yeah.
It was like so fun. I was like, this is awesome.
Masks
Florida
and
Texas.
income. Yeah.
It was
sure.
so fun. But anyway, so I met Jay Leno. I was wearing my mask, and he knew who I was. He was like, I've been looking forward to me, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy.
That probably felt really good. Yeah.
It felt really good. Or like. Stanhope brought me up on, before I'd met him, he brought me up on Rogan's podcast, and it was because of the Comedy Store documentary. So I think for me, because I've always wanted to just be the best comedian I could be, and I've always just admired the comedians I admire, that was the best for me as far as people like that I admire knowing who I was.
Brian, you just bump us out when it's time to go, man. I'm just going to keep talking to Annie if you're good.
Hey, I'm good.
So did you feel worthy in that moment? I was just trying to put myself in your shoes, and I know how I'd feel about it. I'd be like, I don't belong here. They're going to figure this out here at some point.
The imposter syndrome? No, I think I felt pretty good. I was excited because I still was kind of like the new guy. Like they weren't going, I remember Adam Egget, the guy who was the booker of the Comedy Store who now books Rogan's Club. He was like, I think she'll make it if she keeps at it. And I was like, well, I think I already made it.
I think you'll make it. You're sitting at the table with legends.
But it was still sort of, but it felt really good. And I mean, when Bill Burr gives you his new number, when he's like, here's my new number, you go, okay, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
she's
it feels
dropped
so
a couple
good,
of
though.
names here this afternoon. It started early.
I hold it back, too. I hold it back.
Oh, okay, cool.
But going on Rogan was big, all those things. But like what really, I don't know, the podcasting really kind of pushed my career forward.
Was there a single event that stands out as bigger than the rest in terms of bringing you ticket sales or notoriety?
Probably when we started Trash Tuesday, yeah. That was pretty
the
big.
podcast. Interesting.
That was pretty big because it was during the pandemic.
And then to have the balls to leave that thing.
It was hard. It was a hard choice to make. But I had to just really bet on myself. And it was hard. I didn't want to like abandon the girls or anything. It was just,
Are you guys all still friends?
Yeah, we're cool. I mean, it's a breakup, so we're cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, it was a very hard choice. But I couldn't, the commute and the scheduling would change all the time. It's like I couldn't have any sort of normalcy in my life. And it was just killing me. But it was really hard. But they're still doing it. It's still really cute what they're doing. And it's good. But I just had to dip.
So how often are you hitting the road now? Is this like
the summer,
every
usually
weekend
people
thing?
take summers off, not me. So I like to do like two weekends at least a month is really fun for me. And I am gearing up to do this special. I'm working on whatever my blocks are on what's keeping me from doing the special. I'm so like keep procrastinating on it. But so I want to keep doing it.
What do you think that is stopping you?
I think I'm like, maybe it's the imposter syndrome. I'm just afraid of like, what if I make this special and it's not good, or just like, what if I put something out that I don't totally love, which I know I have control over, but I just wouldn't. My worst case scenario is I put something out and then I see all the tags. I go, oh God, I could have added this and that. And I just want to really put the work in, and I really want to make sure I've brought it to the excellence that I see in my eyes, and I want to put something out that I absolutely love. But I have ADD, so I've never done the same set ever. And doing a special, it's like you have to have an order and know what jokes you're going to do.
Sure.
And that's been really, I know it sounds so silly, but that's been challenging for me.
Yeah.
So I have like in my purse, I have note cards. Every day I'm always like trying to be like.
And then sometimes, you go through something like that, or we do it here where we're trying to put together a show, and it's like you spend so much time because it doesn't feel right yet, but the reality is the audience would love it anyway.
Of course. And I'm excited to do it. And I know a lot of people get nervous after they do a special that it's going to take them a while to get new material. I feel like the minute I purge all of this stuff, so much new stuff is going to come in, and I'm not worried about that.
See, for me, I have to imagine that'd be one of the harder parts about doing a special is, you craft this hour over a year, or however long, 2 years, 3 years. Some comedians spend their whole careers crafting a special.
15 years.
And then you got to let the comedy, you have to let the content go at some point.
But I keep thinking about it. If I don't do this soon, I'm going to age out of all my jokes. Like, they don't make any sense anymore.
That's fair enough.
I want to be present in my jokes and feel,
Yeah. Random question here, having nothing to do with your special. This morning, I was told by, I believe, your manager that you were scheduled to make a TV appearance this morning.
And it got canceled.
Did they cancel you?
I think they canceled me.
My plan, that you didn't know, I was recording the TV show, and then we're going to play clips back here because those shows are awful. They are horrific TV shows. And I can only imagine Annie Lederman sitting.
Oh, I would have been so good. Have you seen my most epic My most epic television appearance?
I have not seen
it's good.
one of these.
These are good.
Because there are a few comedians now who use these opportunities.
Oh, it's so fun.
To burn bridges. Most famously in my head, Mark Norman loves to do
and
this
Sam
now.
Morril.
Sam Morril does a lot of this, yes.
He'll have Gary Veter taped up like a gimp in the back. He's like...
Brian, these comedians go on these shows and you get these energy guys doing the pitch guys like, we're going to get cupcakes later in the show, but first, comedians. And then here comes guys like Mark Norman, Sam Morril, or I guess you.
Well, it's always like Girl Scouts. It's always like the Girl Scouts are here tap dancing, and then we're going to have this pig come on and...
Literally had something like that on this morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I got bumped for that.
Where are they putting Annie in this show? I watched the entire hour of this horrific show.
He did.
With bated breath, trying to get clips.
So fun.
Fun to watch? No. Fun to do, it would have been fun. And then we would have had fun trashing everybody.
Who did they have on? Who did I get bumped for?
I mean, they had a cupcake lady. They had a tourism lady.
Oh, you're going to name the whole list, huh?
I mean, it's all clients. Okay. And they had a mom and daughter team. I don't even know, like a little kid too. It was really cute, but like I don't even know what they were doing. I don't know. This dude, the host, was like face planting into these cupcakes. It very much is the energy where like you don't have the content, so you have to make a spectacle.
Right.
I'm gonna spill water on my head. It's like, what is happening on this show?
But when you go on to do those shows too, like for me, I'm so used to just saying whatever I want that, and I don't want to upset the people. You know, I'm not trying. I want to make them laugh in a way that doesn't get them fired or in trouble. But they're
going to laugh no matter what because they're nervous.
Well, they're so nervous. Like, okay, so I went on, and there's a clip of this. I went on, and they said to me, "Oh, you look so much like Scarlett Johansson." And I just said like a stock thing. I said, nobody really has said that to me since her nudes leaked. And they got so nervous that I said,
"Oh, this is what you said."
On TV,
I did see it. It was so great. They get nervous. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm cutting you off. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So they get so nervous that I said nudes, and I go, "Oh, sorry, I said the N-word." And then they're like,
Aaron, I saw that yesterday, and they are so uncomfortable. I was crying laughing.
Did you ever produce any of those shows downstairs?
No,
for TV?
Never.
No?
No.
You just only did news or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we have a TV partner downstairs.
Yeah.
Not one that scheduled you or bumped you, a different channel. But, I mean, those are just sales shows, right? They're booking clients and trying to sell wares and stuff like that. But, like, often, I guess the Comedy Zone is a client or something because you see their comedians go on these shows all the time. And I look at a guy like Tommy Davidson who loves coming to Jacksonville. I think he's on TV in Jacksonville 3-4 times a year. Tommy's here so often. And then I'm like, I can see Tommy doing it because he's like this happy, fun, go-lucky guy. He could be kind of silly sometimes, and like it just didn't feel like that was your vibe. I was like, this is not a good match.
It's fun though. I girl out with the girls and was like, look at your outfit. Like,
okay. So you like doing it?
I love doing it. Yeah.
TV's got a weird energy to it.
What's that?
TV's got a weird energy to it.
Well, morning TV does.
Definitely.
Because I always did the late shows. I always did that.
I guess that's a little bit different.
Well,
maybe
they're edited. Live TV is.
Yeah. A little bit of walking without a net kind of deal. Which is
kind
of what we do here. I get nervous here. I like this show. I don't want to lose it.
You're not the first person to be nervous for me to come on a show.
Cool.
I have a pretty epic story about one. So I did the show Girl Code on MTV.
It was a great show.
And then they were doing a spinoff called Girl Code Live that was just a live show, and they had me as the guest. And
did they take that on tour or no?
No, it was just like a live talk show. So they had Carly and Aquafina, Nora.
Was Yamanika on that or no?
Yamanika wasn't on Girl Code. Yamanika was on another. They had a couple girl shows happening at once.
Okay.
They'd be like Girls Time, Girl Code.
And then they did Guy Code. That's where we saw Chrissy D and all the boys.
Chrissy D, Charlamagne. Yeah. If you think Charlamagne and Andrew Schultz are crazy, it's MTV's fault. Because you only get paid, you were only getting paid for the episode you got edited into. So they were like, let's say the craziest things ever.
I'm sure that's why they incentivize it.
Oh my God, I love that. I love Charlamagne so much. Charlamagne rules. But he makes me laugh nonstop. Did you see Bill Burr on Breakfast Club with Charlamagne?
No, I did not.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Also, doesn't really sound like a match for Bill, but I'm sure he
Bill
has fun.
is the best interview. He is so good. He could just eviscerate, and it's so funny.
Sure.
He's the best. But
certainly did so to Bill Maher. It was very funny.
Oh my God, he's so funny. Yeah. So Girl Code Live was the same producers as regular Girl Code, and they were so nervous because they weren't going to be able to edit me if I said anything or if a boob falls out or something.
Yeah.
So one of the camera guys goes, "I've never seen a control room so nervous about anyone ever in my life."
There's producers pacing back there.
So as we're doing the run through, I'm like, I'll mess with him. I was wearing the skirt. I had some Spanx underneath it. So they go, our friend comedian Annie Lederman, and I just throw my legs up. And everyone in the studio audience goes like, oh my God. And that's when I realized that Spanx have a hole in them.
Yo.
They have a hole.
Yo, you.
So I just showed a beehole. I showed my beehole to this whole audience. And they're in the control room. They got it on all angles and all the monitors.
Oh, boy.
That is wild.
Yeah.
And then your parents are like, hey, we're happy you went into comedy.
Yeah, we're like, this is great. No, they are happy. Once you get on TV, people are happy for
Well, it
you.
doesn't sound like they're too uptight. They weren't the disciplinary
Yeah, they're
type.
like, this is amazing. We always hoped to have OnlyFans, but we'll settle for this.
I always get nervous when I talk about my family because I don't think they like that kind of stuff.
When do you talk about them?
I mean, I try not to too much, but it happens from time to time. I think we did a whole segment on my family trip when I came back on Monday.
Yeah, you did.
The big highlight was my brother-in-law took me and my two or three children, to hike sand dunes and fly kites for like 3 hours. And that doesn't sound like a highlight. I understand. But oh boy.
No, it sounds like these troubling times. You don't want to do that. It sounds like a rave gone wrong in the Middle East. But anyway.
It was awful, as awful as it sounded. Shout out to my brother-in-law, who, by the way, I like. He's a good guy.
No.
But man, does he love kites.
My fiance has like this whole white side of the family. He's half Laotian and half white. And I met his white side and they were like,
Laotian is Asian Pacific? Is
it's
Laos?
Laos.
Okay.
It's near Thailand.
Got it.
But so when I met his side and they were like,
today.
oh, we watched the podcast. I was like, oh, I wonder if I've talked shit on these people. Like, I don't even know. So sad.
All right.
Talked bad about these people.
Well, now that Brian has dumped out of that, we just want to make sure everyone understands what's happening. Annie said a bad word.
I'm sorry, guys.
We had to dump out of it. That's all. We're all adults
But
here.
we got so far in without me saying a bad word.
You really did do really well today. I'm very proud of you, Annie. Good job.
Thank you.
That
And it
was
was
a great
a tamer of the bad words.
Yeah, it was fine. It's fine. Everyone's fine. Relax.
He's scared. I scared him poopless.
Oh, we got a
Get
button
it?
for this kind of thing.
Yeah. Great way to do that.
I
too.
learned.
Great way to do that.
That's a great way to do that.
Caca's list.
Annie Lederman performing at the Comedy Zone this weekend, tonight and tomorrow. ComedyZone.com for your tickets. Annie, it's an absolute honor to have you in the studio
It was
today.
so fun to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank
it was
you
a
so
blast.
much.
I'll tell you all the truth about everything afterwards.
Brian Middleton, thank you for a wonderful week of radio, man. Have a great weekend.
You too, man.
Spring has sprung and tax return season is here. Now's the time to beautify your home by replacing your old windows with new energy-efficient, easy-to-clean windows from American Window Products. Keep the summer heat out with special glass packages including low E3 and argon gas. American Window Products only uses the highest quality products and professionally trained employees to install. Call now to find out why they were voted the #1 window company in Jacksonville. 731-2247 for a free estimate or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
On Guarding Your Nest Egg Radio, Mike Lester, founder of Talon Wealth, focuses on a key question many share. Do I have enough to retire?
For starters, we'll do the math for you. But to me, it's really more about lifestyle. I want to find out what's important to you. I want to find out what your expenses are. And then I'm going to give you a realistic expectation moving forward of how your money needs to be invested to accomplish your goals in retirement.
Get to know Mike at guardingyournestegg.com.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals, dine in with beer and wine, and delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Do it with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
Ready to drive away with a fortune? Join us at Best Bet St. Augustine for our Fairways to Fortune giveaway. Over $30,000 in prizes are up for grabs, including a top-of-the-line 6-seater golf cart. Join us July 27th at Best Bet St. Augustine for the big giveaway and hourly cash drawings. Come play and win big at Best Bet St. Augustine, located on State Road 207, seconds away from the I-95 exit. Visit bestbetjacks.com for details. That's bestbetjacks.com, and we'll see you in St. Augustine.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Our returning champion, a basketball court sweat mopper from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Louis Cramp.
Great to be back, Merv.
There's only one category left on the board, Louis. People you can trust to repair your air conditioner. Your 10 seconds starts now.
Well, I'm pretty handy with tools around. So my Uncle Steve used to fix transmissions, so maybe he could... Okay, sorry. I guess just call the guys at Bueller?
That's right, Lewis. The highly trained technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing have the tools and the experience to service any make and model of home air conditioner to make sure that you are cool.
You sure I can't just have a quick...
Yeah, we're done for today.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Despite overwhelming support from Democrats and Republicans, time is running out for Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act, which will keep AM radio in cars. Text AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to a vote now. AM radio is too important to let this moment pass us by. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Imagine a world where animals and humans coexist in harmony, where wild animals thrive, habitats are protected, and marginalized communities are empowered. At International Animal Rescue, this is our vision. Our holistic, community-led projects not only rescue animals, but also protect and replenish precious habitats, creating a better future for us all. But we can't do this without you. Show your support now and help keep the wild, wild. Visit internationalanimalrescue.org.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Everyone last year, they win the division. You know, Jacksonville, they're supposed to be a better team. Trevor Lawrence improved the O-line, so maybe they wind up taking the division from them. And I do like C.J. Stroud a lot, but we see this all the time, where you have a rookie quarterback, he has a great year, and then you take a little bit of a step back in your sophomore year. That wouldn't be the craziest thing to see. So I'm going Houston Texans, taking a little step back.
Yeah, not me. I'm not going Houston Texans on that one. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns because I still don't trust Deshaun Watson coming back being the Deshaun Watson I saw when he played for the Houston Texans. Now, Cleveland believes a little bit, but they went on a heater towards the end of the year, and it unraveled against the Houston Texans. They're still wondering if Nick Chubb is going to be the running back that they need in that offense behind that offensive line, and can Deshaun Watson be that guy? Can Myles Garrett continue to dominate double and triple teams like he did last year? At a certain point, the league catches up with you. So I look at a Browns team that was terrific towards the end of the year. I'm not trusting that this year. I think they could be in the outside look again. Shannon Penn?
You know what? I'm going to go with one of Zaz's teams he had earlier, Buffalo Bills.
What is wrong with you?
Because I can say that because Christine Lisi's not here.
Yeah, you can say that, yeah, because you know if she was here, you'd punk up.
Yes, they have. Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes, they have Josh Allen, but there's some serious question marks there at the wide receiver position. Okay. I don't know. The identity is changing a bit with the Bills. I got some questions about the Bills. I'll put Buffalo there.
All right, Nick Cardi, break the three-way tie.
I'm going with the Cleveland Browns. I'm with you, Freddie. I don't believe in Deshaun Watson. I think, again, they're in the hardest division in football. So I'm going to put the Browns up there as well with you, Freddie.
Jonathan Zaslow in for Harry Douglas. Joining me, Freddie Coleman and Freddie and Harry, presented by Progressive Insurance on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Our selection committee, NFL playoff teams last year that we won't believe will get in this year. We got the Steelers at the top, the Bucks at number 2, the Browns at number 3. That means we're up to number 4. And Mr. Zaz, I'll give you the floor once again.
All right, I have a new nominee that I'm going to present in front of the committee here.
All right.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, boy.
Now,
really?
look, the Eagles last year, we know how they faded down the stretch. Mm-hmm. And then you get to the wild card playoff against Tampa. Mm-hmm. That Philadelphia Eagle team, that week, they were the worst team in the NFL. There's not a single team they would have beaten that game. They were awful. That's a mixture, Freddie, between horrific and awful.
Well done.
They were
Solid.
awful. And the bottom line is, Jalen Hurts, he's had one great year. Okay. So I feel like this is kind of the rubber year for him. So I'm going to go Philadelphia. You're out.
I agree with you. I'm going to go with the Eagles because I know they got Saquon Barkley, but not having Jason Kelce, who did everything he could to keep that team together, as much as they're going to miss his production, he was still playing as an elite center before he retired. They're going to miss his leadership. So you know what? I'm swayed off the Cowboys there. You swayed me on the Eagles because usually you get rid of 2 offensive coordinators. You're trying to get rid of them before they get rid of you when it comes to Nick Sirianni. So, yeah, I got the Eagles with you at number 4. I'm with you on that one. Shannon Penn?
Yeah, speaking for Nick Carter and myself as Giant fans, any
Lord.
chance we get the opportunity to bash the Eagles? Absolutely, you put the Eagles there at number 4.
So should I ask Nick Carter? Should I just say you're speaking for him?
Oh, are we bashing the Eagles? I'll take a part. I don't think Sirianni's the great coach. They got by the skin of their teeth last year, and they did not want to be in that playoff game.
Okay.
Number 5.
This is where it gets tougher for me. And thank God Amber Wilson's not listening. I can see the Miami Dolphins not making the playoffs this year.
Oh, come on.
I could see that team with Tua Tagovailoa. And, yeah, he looked good last year, and he looked terrific in that running game. But anytime they face somebody in the same level or above their level, they couldn't beat them. And I still wanted they were able to fix that. I love their offseason moves that they've made. But I still wanted Tua as that guy that you can rally behind and rally around. So I'll put the Dolphins right there at number 5.
I can't agree with you, Freddie. I'm coming back to the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
I think the Dolphins are improved from last year. They lost pieces on defense. I think they got better with the additions they made on the defensive end. And don't forget, while the Bills won that division from the Dolphins, the Dolphins collapsed at the end. The Bills got hot. They both won 11 games. This Dolphin team, they were injury depleted at the end of the year. I do not believe the Dolphins are the ones that take a step back. I'm still going with the Bills. I think the Bills should be in the selection.
Okay. Shannon Penn, where do you stand?
I'm just looking here at the Miami Dolphins schedule late in the season, and I see their last 2 games of the year at Cleveland, at the Jets, both games in cold weather.
Really?
Which we know the Dolphins won't win. So, yes, I'm putting the Miami Dolphins on this list.
Attaboy. As Bruce Willis said in the movie Pulp Fiction, attaboy. Nick Carty, what about you?
So, Zaz, you had the Bills here?
Yeah.
Yes, he had the Bills here.
All right, well, I also have the Dolphins. I think they take a step back. The Bills were also depleted, but they had no issue with them on Sunday Night Football to win the division.
They did not.
I think the Jets will make the playoffs in the AFC, so that means the Dolphins get kicked out.
Okay. Last but not least.
Number 6.
Well, I can't put the Cowboys there because that means Washington and the Giants are winning the division. That ain't happening.
Giants
so we're going to
can
leave
do
the Cowboys out of that as far as that goes. I worry about the Green Bay Packers, man. I really, really do. I know they were hot at the end of the year and what they did in the playoffs, and a lot of that ascension when it comes to Jordan Love, but that NFC North is going to be better than it was last year. The Lions, to me, are still the boss of that division. I love the Bears have done in the offseason, not just drafting Caleb Williams, but having personnel around him, and their defense was a top 10 defense the final 8 weeks of the regular season, and that a Minnesota Vikings team, before Kirk Cousins got hurt, they were a pain in the you-know-what. And if Sam Darnold can step in, they still have Justin Jefferson as well, T.J. Hawkinson, the tight end. So I think the Packers could be on the outside looking in. I think somebody else will jump them in that division and push them out. I got the Packers.
Freddie, I'm with you. You know, the Packers, they won 9 games last year, and that was 9 games on a schedule coming off of a non-playoff year in Aaron Rodgers last season. I could look at a couple teams that were on the outside in the NFC that I think can really make a serious push for a playoff spot. I'm talking Atlanta. I'm talking Chicago. Maybe even Minnesota.
Sure.
So you know what? I'm with you. I'll go Packers.
Okay. Shannon Penn, what about you?
Oh, I got to go Dallas Cowboys, without a doubt.
You couldn't stand it, huh?
Oh, come on. I couldn't leave that out there, Freddie. Absolutely. Take a shot at the Cowboys. The Cowboys and the Eagles not making the playoffs? Yeah. Let's put the Dallas Cowboys there.
Man,
Nick, what about you?
What about you, Nick?
It's hard because I don't want to put the Cowboys in the playoffs.
But you
that
know
means
better.
the Giants or Commanders is winning that division.
Stop.
I can't do it. I have the Packers on my list. That's what I'm doing. I know Shannon's pissed, but
he'll be okay.
I have the Packers on my list. I saw them fall apart in too many games last year at the end, and then they kind of got hot, and that is diluting our memories a bit. So I'm going with the Packers are out this year as well.
See, Chandler's just trolling.
For argument's sake, if there was to be a tiebreaker between the Cowboys and Packers, as Nick and I discussed, Doug Brown, we would bring you in for the tiebreaker.
Wait a minute.
So hypothetically speaking,